Their last 19, that's impressive. The San Francisco 49ers to California, yeah, you heard me, have agreed to send standout wide receiver Deebo Samuel to the Washington Commanders in exchange for a fifth-round pick. Sources told Adam Schefter on Saturday night the deal cannot be processed until the new league year. That begins right around the corner, March 12th. All right, Chad, I want to start with you. Who does this trade impact more, San Fran or Washington?
Listen, it impacts San Fran in a bad way, in a very negative way. Yes. What do you mean? You lose a player like Deebo Samuel. Christian McCaffrey was hurt last year. Brandon Ayuk goes out with injury. I mean, Deebo would be the workload for you. We see what happens, what Brock Purdy looks like when all of his weapons, everybody's not available. We know what the Commanders look like without Deebo Samuel. So you add Deebo Samuel to the equation, what do you expect? What do you get there? You take some of the pressure off of Jayden Daniels. He doesn't have to do much. You already have Terry McLaurin, Diami Brown, and then you add a piece with Cliff Kingsbury creativity offensively, and bring in Deebo Samuels, who can play in the slot, he can play in the backfield, he's a Swiss Army knife, he can do so much for you. So it makes that team, the Commanders, that much better, and it lessens, to me, the value of what the 49ers are going to be able to do.
Go ahead, Shannon.
For me, I think it benefits the Commanders, but it's all dependent on what Deebo we're going to get. Since that Pro Bowl season, we have not seen that Deebo. Deebo did not look good last year. He has not looked good in a while. Now, you're right, Ocho. Deebo is a guy that he's not your conventional receiver. You need to find ways to get the ball in his hands. You hand it to him, you toss it to him, you pitch it to him, you put him in the slot, you let him run bubble screens, you let him do a lot of different things. He's just not a conventional receiver that you say, okay, go line up outside the numbers, win consistently, line up in the slot and win consistently. Although he can do that on occasion, he's a guy that you need to find some way to put the ball in his hands. He can return punts. He can return kickoffs. Now, Cliff has a great imagination because you saw what Kyle Shanahan was able to do with Deebo. But Deebo has not been that same Deebo since he went to the Pro Bowl and he was an All-Pro and he had that historically great season. He got paid. But for whatever reason, he has not been that recently. I think it benefits the Commanders because now they get another guy, another piece to the puzzle to help lighten the load on Jayden Daniels.
Here's what I would tell you. I agree with Ocho with this one. I think it benefits the Commanders because Jayden Daniels is a stud. He's more mobile than a Brock Purdy. Obviously, you got McLaurin to throw the football to, but you also have his legs to extend plays. You have a running game as well, and now you have an additional weapon, particularly in short yardage situations, and somebody running in between the numbers. That is Deebo Samuels. Now, 15 games, just 51 receptions in 2024. That's nothing to write home about. We get that. But we also have to remember Brandon Ayuk was out. Christian McCaffrey was out. So because of that, you got the key on Deebo more, right? All right, well, what if they were there? You think you're going to hold him to just 51 receptions in 15 games? I don't think that happens. But when two of your primary weapons are out, and as a defense, you get to focus on him more. And by the way, he's a bell cow in certain respects. Now, he's not some speedy wide receiver playing outside the numbers and flying downfield like that. That's not his game. So because of that, you can get the key on him more, and you can make him look the way that he looked. That's probably why he went to the Washington Commanders, because you don't know what Ayuk is going to be like when he comes back. We can't rely on CMC's health. We never could. The brother's a stud when healthy, but he's not dependable in terms of his durability. So because of that, if you're Deebo Samuels, who's to say that didn't play a role in him wanting out outside of the money, of course. So I'm looking at it from that standpoint. Jayden Daniels is young. McLaurin's a baller. The combination of playing with those two brothers is a better situation for him. Cliff Kingsbury has shown he knows how to call an offense. All of those things taken into consideration, I think this works better for the Commanders, personally.
I'm right. So I was right. Listen, NFC Championship last year, no Deebo Samuels. Jayden Daniels takes him. Terry McLaurin, you talked about him being a dual threat. So you take the dual threat out because you bring someone like Deebo Samuels in who can play in the slot. He can play in the backfield. He's the Swiss Army knife. He can do so much offensively. It takes some of the pressure off Jayden Daniels. So I can go back. I can relax. I can hand it off to you. Yeah. I mean, I can hand it off to Brandon Robinson.
Yeah.
I can chill. I can do that much more and focus on doing everything from an aerial standpoint as far as intermediate, short, and long passes.
Gotcha.
Jay?
But this is also under the assumption, Ocho and Stephen A., we're going to get the best version of Deebo. We get that version last year. That's not that great of an aid. That's not that great of a benefit. We get the Deebo the year before. That's not that guy. We need that all-pro. We need that guy that could do it all.
Oh,
return
Shannon.
punts, return kickoff. Yes.
Answer the question, Shannon. What about what I brought up about CMC and Ayuk being out?
Yeah.
All right. I'm saying, don't you think that had a lot to do with the numbers we saw?
Ocho, hold on, Stephen A. Ocho, you tell me it don't matter who's on the field. You that dog when what you call him was out. What's T. Higgins? Did not Chase step up?
Yeah.
When other guys was out. If you that guy, now if you not that guy, say then we need other things to be in a place in order for us to succeed. But when we get top billing, it does not matter.
Wait, listen, it does matter.
Don't do that, Ocho. Don't come out here and show out now. That's why I don't like to bring you around company. Now you come around company, you start showing out.
I'm not gonna flip flop, but you also got to be honest with yourself. You talk about Jamar Chase. Are you trying to compare Jamar Chase and Deebo Samuel in the same caliber as wide receiver, and why he didn't still put up the numbers and everybody was hurt in San Francisco? Is that what you're doing?
I'm saying
let's have a better understanding of why the numbers. Let's think about Deebo Samuel's All-Pro season.
If you are a number one,
Let's think about Deebo Samuel's All-Pro season. Everybody was healthy. CMC was healthy. Brandon Ayuk was healthy. Let's remember that. Everybody was healthy. So the onus was just on Deebo Samuel's last year as the main weapon. So what do they do defensively every time they play the 49ers? Focus on who? Deebo.
So in other words, he needs other pieces to be at their best and then get other people second and third. DB, gotcha, noted. No problem. I got it now.
All right.
See,
you two are like brothers. All right, we got to leave it there, guys. Let me get into a quick commercial break. When we come back on First Take.
To San Francisco, to now Deebo to D.C. He asked for a trade out of San Fran, where he spent the first 6 seasons of his NFL career. That included being a 2021 All-Pro. Saturday, he got that wish. Deebo goes to the Commanders in exchange for a 5th-round pick. And for the Commanders, a team who got to the NFC title game, they are one step, a very fast one when healthy, closer. The NFC East, they've gone 20 straight seasons without a repeat champion, the longest streak by any division in NFL history. The last team to repeat was the Eagles, and they won 4 straight division titles from 2001 to 2004. What a treat this morning. Dan Orlovsky and Mike Tannenbaum on the program. Good to see you guys. Dan, let's start with you.
I don't know if that's true. I don't know if it's a treat, bro.
You're the Dan Chise. Listen, it's a treat for us, and I'm speaking for Mike T as well. Should the Eagles be worried about the Commanders getting Deebo, Dan?
Not worried about it. No, I mean, I like the move for Washington. It's a respect thing that you have for that organization. But I think the conversation around Washington is a little bit extreme. You give them credit for this past season, no question about it. And adding a player like Deebo, because the versatility that he brings, they like to run 2 back in their offense. Washington, you can use that. You can get them touches on some of those jet sweeps. Also, they love to kick the ball to the perimeter and just make sure they get the ball in players' hands and they do the work. So I do like that. Washington won 5 games on essentially the last play of the year last year. That's not normal in the NFL. It clouded a little bit of what they are in reality.
Sử dụng nhé. Rồi móc tiếp những mũi tiếp theo này. Mọi người cứ móc luân phiên từng mũi cho mình. Tiếp tục mũi tiếp theo nữa nhé.